Hi everyone, my name is Heather and I'm the person behind Happy Puppy Truffles. Today I wanted to share with you guys a fun kind of craft origami project that you can do to make your very own Valentine's Day chocolate box with the chocolate origami that I showed you guys how to make yesterday. What I've done is I'm going to show you guys how to make a heart box as well as these little chocolates. Now the chocolates are finished in this kind of a style here. I just used some kind of pale browns and whites to kind of create the chocolate. You could certainly use any color really. This was just what I happen to have actually. I would have probably preferred actually a darker color, but I didn't have any dark brown in the taunt. But and then I just used some of those 3D Elmer glue thingies that are glitter and different colors. And this has just some paper just cut very small and sprinkled kind of on top to kind of create a little sprinkle effect and kind of like a jelly kind of design, and then a little bit of gold there. But what I did was I just made the chocolates and then placed them inside these boxes here. Now the boxes themselves are 15 by 15 centimeters, and then the chocolates were 14 by 14 centimeters, so just a tad bit smaller so that the chocolate would fit inside here. And it's not quite dry yet, but you just get the little chocolate then that can fit inside, and this will just give us a little bit more stability when we put them inside the box that we're going to make as well. So I'll have a link here to remind you guys how to make the little chocolates if you need some help with that, but just kind of a quick little thing there with those, and I'll tell you guys here. So I just real quick here, I'll write down so you guys can know the sizing. The inside boxes, and that's just a traditional box, of course. That's 15 by 15. And then the chocolate was 14 by 14 centimeters. And that's just kind of the dimensions I was using for this as we start off. And then, you can kind of make those, make sure you get a chance for them to dry and everything. And I'll kind of put these guys to the side for a second here. What I've done is taken some of the Brazil craft paper and made a heart box, and this is the bottom part here, and then I'm working on the this is the top. I'm working on the bottom right now, and I'll show you guys how to kind of do all this a little bit. What I did was find like a heart pattern either online or draw freehand if you want to, but what I just used is I just took a heart pattern and made a printout that I could use then as a guide for myself as I did all of this. And this is essentially the lid of the box. And then inside we have the interior heart that's used basically to just hide the system that we're going to be using as the outer edge. And I just used a piece here that is about 1.5 centimeters, if I remember correctly. Here, where's my ruler? Here we go. Yeah, this particular guy here is about 2 centimeters tall, and I also allowed for about 1.5 centimeters for the tabs, and then just randomly kind of cut a little bit of a fringe around that, and then use that to wrap around. And you'll need a little area where you'll overlap, because the paper I used wasn't long enough, of course. But that gives me kind of the top part, and I just made the interior part of the lid just a tiny bit bigger than the base will be, and then that way this will fit nicely inside, just kind of as a nice little lid. And for the part that's for the base itself is 4 centimeters deep, and again has that 1.5 centimeters on the edge, so you can kind of use that as a guide too. And I'll kind of tell you guys the dimensions so that you know if you're trying to recreate this. The lid border is 2 centimeters wide, and then I had the 1.5 centimeter for the fringe, and just used regular glue stick to make it all go together. And then for the base border, I made that a little deeper because I want to be able to have, of course, the chocolate inside. So that was 4 centimeters wide, and again with the 1.5 centimeter fringe. And you wind up needing, you know, 2 hearts for the top. Actually, a total of 4. And you can kind of choose, you know, what size you want to do for that. But there's for the lid and for the base. You don't necessarily have to use the basil paper for the bottom part that I'm using here. You could just use regular paper, but if you want a little bit more strength to your box, using this kind of paper can really help because it gives it a little bit more of a base to everything. Now, when you're putting all of this together, I've got my paper here so I can work with it. I find it works really easy, a lot easier to first start just getting the glue put onto the base, and then we attach that to the either the base of the box or the lid, like I did before. And it's good to just go ahead and, like I said, cut the fringe at about like nothing more than a centimeter, really, because you want to still be able to get a good curve going, especially around the top part of the heart. This side part turns out to be fairly easy and smooth, but you do need to give yourself some room to give a little overlap there. And you'll need to, of course, adjust things when you get into the center so that you can kind of, you know, make up for things not being long enough necessarily. But I just went ahead and put a whole bunch of glue, of course, on these, and then you just kind of work your way around. And in this case, because I already kind of started, I need to kind of get these other pieces having glue on them. I just kind of wing it as I go rather than trying to go through the trouble of measuring and cutting exactly later. I think that doesn't allow for any kind of movement or a slight adjustment as you're working, and that can lead to some trouble later on. But if you just get that glue kind of started there and just slowly work yourself around, and you know, I've made the crease right there. You can see my pencil line from where I made my crease. You don't need it to be super close to that. You're just kind of working your way around, making sure you give yourself a good pinch, and this will create the shape then that you need as you can kind of work yourself around. And the basil paper works really good for this. Construction paper would probably work pretty good too. Origami paper is not going to be thick enough. It's not going to give you the weight that you want to create a nice sturdy box, especially one that's this size, because you know, I wanted it big enough to hold 3 of the larger chocolates. Now you certainly could do this entire project at a slightly different scale and make it more kind of like appropriate to real chocolate size. This actually is just more of a bigger kind of version that I did to kind of create some fun larger chocolate. But you're just going to work yourself around here, and I'm just kind of putting pressure right there to kind of snag it and keep each one of those layers so that I'm only doing one bit of the fringe at a time, keeping, you know, the others kind of up so that they don't get tagged down along with it. And then we just kind of work our way around until we get the whole thing glued down. And, you know, I didn't even bother trying to, you know, erase that line from the pencil. I suppose you can kind of see it. If it's bothering you, you could definitely get rid of that. But this can definitely create a fun kind of gift for Valentine's Day. Or a really cute decorative piece. You know, if you're kind of making decorations for your house or for a wedding or something like that, you could use this. But you see I get down here to the end, and I just want to make sure to give myself a little bit of room here. I don't want to necessarily get exactly right on that edge there. So I'll just go ahead and cut that if I can. And the last little bit here, we're going to actually want to also put a little tiny bit of glue on this part as well. So I'm actually just going to put the glue on the part that's right here so that I don't get any excess, just a little on the edge to give myself some space. Now you could also use double-sided tape if you prefer. That's certainly something that works pretty good with this. I find it not very forgiving though. If you make a little mistake or you need to shift things over a little, double-sided tape doesn't really do that nicely for you, whereas something like, you know, just glue can really kind of give you a little bit of room to breathe. But we'll get this kind of secured off. And if there is a slight, difference in height, like there is on this one for me a little, you can go in and trim it up if you want to. But that kind of gives you the beginnings of your box. And then I've got the outer part of, this is my larger heart shape for the base of my box. And you can see I just wanted to give myself a little bit extra room there for things. And I'm just going to put a whole bunch of glue on this so that I don't run the risk of it coming apart, of course, later. And you just got to be a little careful when you do this. This is the only downside to doing the outer side part first, of course. You don't want to put too much pressure on this as you work, because you don't want it to collapse on you or anything. But definitely put the focus right here on the outer part. And if you could help it, it's nice to give it a chance to dry before doing this. You don't want to accidentally pop everything open. But I'm just focusing first on this outer part, and then I'll put a little bit in the middle too, and then that way we can give ourselves the chance to get it all secured down. And then we could just put some here. And then kind of line it up. And in this case, because this is the base, I do want to kind of keep my pattern maybe so that I have the nice pattern side. I'm just going to stand up for a second so I can see here. And when you do this, if you have your lid, I'm just going to put my lid on first, and then that way I can make sure that I'm trying to line things up so that they're as even to each other as I can get them. You want to make sure, you're not making the lid kind of bigger in a different place than everything else, but kind of get that going here. And this is just a quick and easy way to make a unique shaped box. You could, of course, either use you could buy one, of course, if you wanted to, or you can just to make a circle. You could use this technique for making a square box too. There's lots of different ways you could do it. But that's kind of my base then of my box. And then I have my lid to kind of place on top. And it's not, super tight or anything like that. It's meant to be just more of a decorative kind of fun piece then. And you've got your lid and the base of everything. And then we can just put our chocolates inside here. Now I'm going to also go ahead and place my boxes for my chocolate, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on them so that I can get them secured in here, and that way I don't have them shifting around. And really it's just a tad bit of glue. It doesn't need to be a lot, and I just want to try to create a cute little kind of geometric heart shape with the squares in the middle here. So that's sort of the interior then of my box. And then I could put my chocolates in here. I don't spill it. And this one's not dry yet, so I gotta be careful. I don't want that one to get all over the place. So I've got those guys, and then if you wanted to as well, you can put a little bit of decoration on the top of your box. But this is the lid of my box, and I have some of this really cute heart tape, and I was just thinking of kind of putting 2 rows of that. I'm just going to first start by putting a row of this just kind of across here, and we can trim it off when I'm done, but should be able to just... And this is some tape I just happened to get at the 100 yen store. You can, of course, get your stuff at all sorts of different craft locations. Let me get this kind of on here. And if you wanted to, you could decorate it before you assembled everything, or do like what I'm doing and just do it at the end. I think that kind of works sometimes better, so that you don't have to worry about everything sticking to itself. But this is just tape that, if you're very gentle, you can peel off the back of, and then we can put it on the way we need to here. And it's just kind of up to you guys of how you want to do it, of course, but I'm just going to kind of try to choose an angle that makes it convenient for me to trim so that I can kind of get as close to an edge of some heart as I can here. And then I'll do another row here. So this is sort of with the little flower heart tape there as an extra addition to things. So once you've got the chocolates into the box, there might be a little extra space around the outside depending on the size of things. So what I just did is I took some of my top paper that was in some pink colors here and just made it into some little curly pieces. And I just went ahead and cut it into centimeter strips, and if you have some scissors, you just kind of hold them open, and if you want to get a curly cue that's at an angle like this, you try to hold your paper at an angle when you start, and it should kind of give you something like that. And like I said, I was using top paper, so it holds up pretty good. I don't know if origami paper would take you doing this necessarily, but you can also use, you know, shredded packing material, lots of different things that you could use to kind of just fill up the space in here. And I'll just kind of put it around to the outside to give it sort of a more full, completed image here. When you're finished, you might have something that kind of looks like this with little bits of stuff to kind of fill out the box if you had some extra space, and then the lid to put on top. And I think it looks really cute, you know, if you kind of have it open at an angle to sort of use as a display around your house or something like that. Lots of different fun ways you can use this. It makes a beautiful gift, of course, and I hope you guys can enjoy kind of some of the ideas that may be from this that you can use for your own gift for Valentine's Day. I'll have another kind of printable version of a chocolate box that I'll have available for tomorrow, so look for that if you like to kind of use something like that for your gift. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I'll have some more fun things to share with you in the days to come. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!